Okay, we are now live on Facebook. We'll give it just a second to like pull up and load so I can see comments and share it in all the places where it needs to go. But in the meantime, while I'm doing all that, we are here with Rose for Spotlight Sunday, and I'm so freaking excited. So while I'm messing with all this techie stuff, I would love it if you could just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us, who you are and about your business and how you got started, all of those amazing things that everyone wants to hear.
Of course. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. So my name is Rose, as you said. I'm a coach and a business strategist to female entrepreneurs, and also a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, a TedX speaker, and a former McKinsey consultant. So that's like my full name.
So many things. I love it.
But what I essentially do is, there's two things I do with my clients. I help change their relationship with money, and that makes them limitless in the amount of income that they might make. So we're breaking through money ceilings, essentially what we do. And then we take that renewed, rewired mindset and make sure that the strategy that they're using is also going to be helpful and actually bring the profit that they want in, that they've managed to create. And obviously that the second part is where I bring a lot of my experience as a McKinsey consultant in and just look at the business with fresh eyes and help them identify their blind spots. So yeah, very much a two-part piece for me.
That's so exciting. Like all those big name things, I love it. The TedX and the Forbes and all, yeah. So can you talk a little bit more about just like how you got into that and how you started doing all those amazing things? I think that's like a lot of us in this group are like brand new and just just your journey to getting where you are, I think would be so cool to hear.
Of course. Okay, I'll try and give you the condensed version.
Okay.
So while I was at McKinsey about a year and a half ago now, I burnt out and I was on leave for about 2 months. So I was completely numbed out. And to cut a long story short, I decided that going back there was probably going to be a really bad idea. So I decided not to. And I just cut loose and trusted myself that I'd figure it out. And I had 3 months of living costs saved. And it was a bit of a bold move, but I just thought, look, I'm going to allow myself to lose sight of the shore, to find a different way of looking at the world and to find something new that actually fits, that feels good. Because I got so lost in the corporate world that I just lost myself in that whole process. Then I started running a business. So I was doing two things. I was coaching. I trained as a coach because that was the one thing that I loved doing at McKinsey. And I also was doing some freelance consulting as well and just kind of kept my skills up doing that. And that was when I realized I was coming up at the cold face with my relationship with money. I was finding it weird sending invoices to people and feeling really awkward about asking for money. I had no idea how to price myself. I was holding myself back in so many ways. And I'm somebody who's full of skills and a lot of value to give to somebody. I was just so held back in everything I was doing. And I had heard about money and mindset stuff before, and I thought that sounds a load of rubbish. I was very much the corporate part of me was like, that sounds a load of BS. The whole law of attraction manifestation thing, just all the words for me just sounded like a load of rubbish. So I'll be completely honest with you, I did not look at this. And then I realized at the end of the year that all the stuff I had thought was what I didn't need was exactly what I did need. So I went back and I looked, okay, if I'm going to do this mindset stuff, I'm going to have to make it really bloody practical. Otherwise it's not happening.
I love that so much.
So and then I got really geeky over it. And I'm one of those people that researches the hell out of something and becomes an absolute expert in it really quickly. And I then started transforming my relationship with money. And I'm still doing it every single day now. I very much do what I teach. And took on clients in that arena, and it's been brilliant. It's been so good. And now I obviously got TedX about that subject, and it's just kind of building momentum now. It's really, really fun.
That's so cool. And I love just your perspective on that too, because for me also, I came from corporate world and I'm just like a very practical, logical thinker anyway. So the exact same thing was true for me. I was like, okay, this is crap. This isn't real. And then the more you see it and the more you hear about it, you're like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So I love that. They're we're so aligned there.
That's so good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Brilliant. It looks like we have Debbie and Crystal and Heather and Christy on live. So hello everyone that is saying hi. And yeah, so before we dig into your super awesome content, then we have to do my branding question. I ask everyone. So just what does branding mean for you and your business?
So I did obviously contemplate this question before you were going to ask it.
That's why I let you have a warning.
Yes, yeah. But for me, I feel like a brand is around how you make other people feel. And I'm currently looking at reworking my brand right now. And I'm thinking, how can I pull all together my skills and communicate that in a really solid way and make people feel good as a result, and therefore be attracted to you. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, branding. I'm learning more and more about this all the time.
I love that though. And that's really the core of it, is just creating that feel and how you want to connect with people. So I love it. That's perfect. There's really, I always say at the beginning, there's no wrong answer. As long as you don't say it's your logo. Anything else is good.
Love it. Yeah.
So you're good. You're like totally on point. Cool. Okay, well, let's dig in. I'm gonna like shut up now and like let's dig into your juicy stuff and hear all about this money mindset, because I feel like I said, there's a lot of brand newbies in this group, but even like me, I'm still like, it's still a daily thing for me to like, okay, this is not woo-woo BS. Like, this is real. I love learning about it. So,
okay, great. Let's dive in. Let's do it. So everybody needs a pen and a piece of paper, preferably for this one, because it's gonna be a bit of an exercise. So obviously the title of this is how to identify and shift your money blocks so you can make more money doing what you love. So we're about to do a bit of that. So first of all, just to clear things up, what a money block actually is, just so we're all on the same page.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
Belief or a fear that stops you from making more money. And if you look at it from how we are wired as humans, everything starts from a belief system that we all have. And our beliefs then obviously impact what we think, how we feel, that impacts our decisions, that impacts our behavior, which then impacts our results. Yeah. So just by looking at your financial situation and how you're doing in your business, you can tell that your belief system is either supporting that or it's not. And for most of us, the way we've been socialized, the way society is, all our experiences, usually before the age of 7, have installed these beliefs or fears in us that are not helpful as an entrepreneur at all. And it's about unraveling some of that and allowing that money ceiling that we all have a personal money ceiling. It's about smashing through that money ceiling essentially by rewiring those beliefs. And that is how you become limitless. If your belief system is something that's the one that's really supportive of your goals, then you will no longer self-sabotage. And the whole entirety of your brain, your subconscious, will be in the direction of where you want to go, rather than having beliefs and fears holding you back. So we're about to dive into some of your own personal beliefs and fears in relation to your specific money goal using this exercise. So
I love it.
Just to give you a quick overview. Okay, so right, what I want everybody to do is write down their specific money goal. So go for the biggest one right now. That might be your annual revenue, for instance, for this year. So go for the one that's going to be the biggest rather than like your monthly revenue, because this will more likely to ping up those beliefs that are holding you back. And then we're going to work from an assumption here. Now, it's often true that if you don't already have what you want, then you probably don't really want it. There's a part of you that actually wants it.
I love that.
So let's assume that for a moment. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So first, why would you not want to achieve that money goal? Okay. And this is where you just want to write down anything that comes straight to your head. So assuming that if you really wanted what you say you want, you would have already got it by now, and therefore you don't really want it. What are the reasons why you might not want that money goal? And things like this might come up. So you might be thinking, well, I don't want to have to manage a bigger team if I reach 6 figures. That sounds like too much work. Or I'll have to do loads of sales and I hate selling. Or I'll feel overwhelmed with work and responsibility. I'll have no time for my family. Earning more money will mean I have to manage more money, and that seems really scary. So that's when we start triggering those underlying beliefs in relation to our specific money goal, when you're kind of journaling over this question. And sorry if I'm going at 100 miles an hour here. Do slow me down.
You're good.
I can't see any of the comments. So if anybody's commenting or any questions, by all means, Yeah. Go.
Let me double check that there aren't questions. We are getting comments. Heather says hi, and she was heart bombing the crap out of us, which is awesome. So she's excited to be here live. Okay. If you don't already have what you want, you don't really want it. Interesting. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That like blew my mind, that statement right there. But that's so true. So keep, if you do have questions, put them in. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Okay, so question number 2, and don't overthink this too much. Just go with the first thought, because our conscious brain just takes over way too quickly. And when we allow it to just
here.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so question number 2, kind of similar, but a little bit different. What's the worst thing about reaching your money goal?
Okay.
So things like, I'll have to work really hard, and I don't want to work really hard, or I'll lose my freedom, or won't be able to handle the money, as we said before. Or you might even be thinking, I'm not even productive now. How on earth am I going to be able to keep things together when I've got like 100K in my bank account or something?
Yeah.
You might beat yourself up over that too. So yeah, just kind of splurge all over the paper if you've got thoughts coming up over this question. So the second question is, what's the worst thing about reaching your money goal?
Okay.
This is where we get some low beliefs. Yeah. So then the third question, again, similar, but we're going to dive more into fears now.
Okay.
What's scary about achieving your money goal?
Okay.
So I've heard things like, I might get stalked.
Okay.
I'll have to invest a lot of money to make that income possible, and I'm really scared of investing. I might make a bad decision. I'll be scared that it won't last forever and it's not sustainable. That can come up as well for people. Or my family might ask me for it, and I'll feel really awkward if I have to like earn more. If I end up earning more than them and then they ask me for it, and it all gets really awkward. So yeah. I'm just showing some examples for you.
That one's so
yeah, there we go.
Lots of goofy brothers who ask for money.
Absolutely, like that's gonna be really awkward. I don't want to earn more money. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I've got a bonus question. So if none of these are baking your biscuit, I've got a bonus one for you, and that is, what's not possible about your money goal?
Okay. Oh, that's a good one too. What's not possible?
So this is where I often find people are putting the locus of control outside of themselves. So they'll be saying things like, well, it depends on other people saying yes to me and purchasing from me, and I'm not in control of that. Or it depends on luck. Or it's not possible because people just don't pay my prices. Things like that come up where you're kind of beginning to put the locus of control outside of yourself, and that puts you in victim mode. And that is not helpful either for creating income.
Yeah, victim mode is never good for literally anything.
No, not at all.
Never good.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this is hopefully, once you've kind of gone through these questions, you'll then begin to see where you might be subconsciously holding yourself back. And it identifies where your work is as a result. That's like, okay, I've got this belief system here, these fears that are not in alignment with where I really want to go, and I need to fix this.
Yeah.
So these questions are a good place to start, and it will just give you like a snippet of what's going on for you.
I love it. Yeah, these are so good, and it's so cool to see like all of these questions you can apply them to other stuff too. As you're saying them, I was like, oh, I ask this in branding, but just in a different way. So it's really cool to like apply this to your entire business too. So I love the like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I say it differently. I'm like, okay, what's the actual like worst case scenario for you? Are you gonna like end up that you're worried you end up living in a dumpster like outside the Kmart or whatever it is? You probably don't have a Kmart in the UK, but anyway.
We have something similar, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like whatever that fear is. So that's really cool. I love it. Yeah, so let me see if there's any questions too.
Sure. I have a couple of other common money blocks I can share as well, and these might resonate with people.
Cool. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. So, Heather, it looks like Heather was just typing in the questions for us, so that's awesome.
Oh, that's so good.
That's so helpful. Thank you, Heather. And then she says, this is on fire.
Oh, yeah. Okay, brilliant. So much value going on. Okay, so a couple of other things that comes up a lot for my clients. So we're often told that money doesn't grow on trees. And in other words, that means that money is difficult to come by. So if money is difficult to come by, then we probably also believe that we have to work really hard to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you can look around and actually see there's evidence for that not being the case. Yet because we are so wired to believe that, we will end up creating situations for ourselves where we are working really hard, but maybe not making as much money as we want to. And I see that happening a lot with entrepreneurs. You probably see the same.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think it's, it's been conditioned into us, especially like over here, we have like the American dream from like the 40s and 50s. Like my father-in-law, went to work for 40 years and came home like covered in coal dust. He worked at a coal plant. And it's like, now he has his little retirement, his little farm and whatnot. And like, that's not real. Like, that's not the American dream anymore. But I feel like it's been, we're just conditioned to believe that it has to be done this way. And it's
that's so true. It's so common to see that. And society hasn't really moved on much since then, I find.
Not really.
No. So it's still happening. Yeah. Another really common one that comes up a lot is money is limited. And then that'll then lead us to make us feel quite awkward about taking money off people, because we feel like, well, if I'm taking it off them and they don't have it, and then I feel really bad about that, and I don't want to take money off people. And so that's basically a scarcity mindset, which is super common within most people anyway. Again, that doesn't help too. So another big piece. And I do find, just going back to what we were saying at the very beginning, that a lot of money mindset work is just kind of foofy. I don't know, it's just not good. And often you're trying to work on your conscious level the whole time. And as I said, like, your conscious brain is only 5% of your brain, or sometimes 10%, depending on who you listen to. It's not very big. It's not very much.
It's not very much.
Yeah. And our subconscious brain is therefore running most of our lives, and what we do, what we think, and how we feel. So if you really want to transform your relationship with money and take that money ceiling off you, and take that and become limitless in the income that you can make in your business, you've got to work on the subconscious level too. You can't just go around identifying beliefs and then thinking, okay, I won't believe that anymore. Like, it just doesn't get you very far.
That way.
No, it might occasionally for a few beliefs, but it's probably not going to transform you.
I love it. Well, we just got a ton of comments. Debbie says, I find that relationships change when the money situation changes.
Yes. Big one. That's so common as well. It's a fair.
I think it, like, obviously it depends on your particular group of people, but like, that's one of the things that comes up for me too. Like, none of my friends, like my real life circle, none of them are really entrepreneurs, or at least online business owners. So they just don't understand. And that's what comes up for me. Like, they're going to think I'm just like this snobby person who just makes money online. And it changes the relationship.
That's another really big block too, actually. When you feel like, because I've come across multiple female entrepreneurs who are scared of making money the top priority in their business, because they get scared of what their friends are going to think of them, or they think they're going to be a money hungry bitch if they do that. Really, to be as successful as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you've got to make money number one. Like, you've actually got to start with that first. And it's a really good forcing mechanism to then go and find or create an offer or something that people are going to value enough to then pay you for. So making money the number one priority is actually really important for both you succeeding as an entrepreneur, but also you serving people. Because if you're not creating something that people want to buy, then it's no good.
Then it makes sense. No, and that's so true. And I was thinking something like that a minute ago, the block that you said about taking money from other people, and it like feels weird, but it's like you're giving them so much value in exchange. Like, you're not taking anything. It's about giving them more amazing things than just money, right? So that's where like the branding piece comes in too. Like, if you're not doing a good job of that, then it can feel gross. So like, there's obviously this money mindset side, but sometimes just like digging into what you're offering and making sure you feel really good about it can help so much. Like, of course, I'm going to bring in the practical, leave it to me to like bring in the practical things, but it's so true that helps so much. And that's one that I hear a lot, on the branding side of it too, is I don't want to take their money. Like, you have to. That's what we're doing here.
Absolutely, yeah. But money just seems to be one of those subjects like sex or something else that people don't want to talk about.
Gross. I don't want to talk about it. Yes. So I love this. I'm loving this. And we're getting a ton more comments too. Heather says, common blocks or belief, money doesn't grow on trees. Okay, she's putting it in there again. I love it. Thank you so much, Heather, for like putting it in the comments for us.
Just keeping us organized. I love it.
Yes. Christy says, I often decide what other people can afford when I actually have no clue. Ooh, that's a big one too. Like assuming other people's financial situation. Yeah, I've been guilty of that one also. Let's see. Crystal says money, the big one for me, that's the big one for me. And I didn't know the money is limited thing. Yep. Let's see. Jana says, I feel I've been conditioned to believe that wanting more money is greedy and selfish. Yes, Jana.
So
yes, Jana. That's common. Christy says, I'm a money hungry bitch, but I also love what I do. I love that, Christy. As long as you're confident in it, I love it. Debbie said, I've lost lots of friends because we had money and they just realized it. I think they were intimidated or felt like less because we had more, but I never flaunt it. Yeah, it definitely can change those relationships for sure. And at least my perspective is like, if it's family or something, for me, that's way harder because you can't just be like, bye, Felicia, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Because that's what I would do if it was just like, a friend or someone. Like, I don't need this energy in my life. I had it like with family members though. So that's a little harder. And it's just, for me, it's just been about like putting up those boundaries. Like, if you're going to be like this, then we just don't talk about this anymore. Like, we can still have a relationship outside and just not talk about business. So I don't know if you have an opinion on that too, but.
Yeah, absolutely. These things, as you evolve as an entrepreneur, some things come into your life and some things leave your life, and relationships are sometimes one of those things.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I saw this, one of the little quotes on Instagram the other day, and it said, you're going to have to give up your current life in order to have your new one or something like that. So I don't necessarily think you have to give up everything, but definitely some of that. I mean, it will change. It will change everything for sure.
Yeah. And there's a piece of you that's kind of shedding a bit of your identity to be able to evolve into the business owner or the entrepreneur or even the mother that you might want to be, or whatever it is that's relevant for you. And that piece of identity that gets left behind can be really scary for some people, and we don't want to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that Instagram comment was onto something there.
Yeah. Yes. And family too. Yes, Debbie. Well, cool. So if you guys have more questions, now's the time to put them in too. And then Rose, if you want to talk about your freebie and your little strategy call and all of those good things that you've shared with us today, they're all pinned in the description of this video is how you find the links for this stuff. But I'd love to hear more about them.
Of course, sure. So today has just been a real quick whistle-stop tour over how to identify some of the stuff that's holding you back. Obviously, I go much deeper with my clients over this to see, okay, what else is here? And then I show them how to rewire that too on conscious and the subconscious level. It's really important. So that's the mindset piece. I then also work with clients on the strategy piece, as I mentioned at the beginning, around, okay, you've now got this brilliant mindset in place. How the hell do you make sure you're making the money you want to make? So the strategy piece also comes in. I also love to talk about soul as well, making sure that you're making money in a way that feels good for you, that you're allowing your uniqueness to come out, your gifts and the strengths and things like that. So there's definitely a soulful piece there too. So yeah, that is what I do with clients. So if you are at the place where you want to have some one-on-one time with me, then there is I think it's a half an hour call. That is in the link there, and we can chat about what that might look like for you if we wanted to work together. Also have the 5 strategies to transform your money mindset, I think it is. I can't remember what the full name of it is now, but yeah, that's kind of just a quick primer on, hey, here's where to start in terms of looking at actual strategies to change your relationship with money. And then also my Facebook group, Women Wired for Wealth, which I'm always turning up doing live trainings in. I really like doing Facebook Lives. I've realized it's one of the things I love doing. I hate doing blog posts, but Facebook Lives are my jam.
So, that's kind of where I've landed too. I'm like, okay, I'm over writing. I write enough emails, so I love it. Cool. Yeah, and that's the link is up in there too for the Facebook group also. Yeah. Yep, it's there. Cool. Had to double check, but it's there. Awesome. Cool. Cool. So I was just checking if we had more questions. No more questions yet. So anyone watching the replay too, if you have specific questions for Rose, feel free to put them in. Make sure if it is a question for one of us specifically and not just a comment that you're loving it, make sure and tag one of us so that we see it. But thank you so much for coming in. And like, if there's anything else you want to add, I'm not like rushing you off or anything, but if there's anything else you want to add, or if anyone else has any questions, now would be the time. But I so appreciate you coming in. This was like so fun. And I feel like it, like I said earlier, it ties in perfectly with the branding stuff too, because it comes up during this process. Like, it's not just picking logos and colors, right? All of this other money stuff comes up. So like, you got to be rock solid on this stuff too.
It's so true. And it's a really big difference going from having the magic money machine, putting money in your bank account at the end of every month from your salary, to going out there and actually talking to strangers about asking them for money. I mean, like, the amount of stuff that brings up in us is crazy.
Yes.
So when people are kind of shifting, as you said, that most people in the group are kind of at the beginning of their journeys, when you're making a shift, it is a huge kind of seismic piece in your belief system, in the way you're seeing the world, and your paradigms, and making sure you're supporting yourself well in that direction. So important. So I'm glad it comes up for your clients while they're branding as well.
Yeah. Debbie says thank you, and Jana says thank you, and Christy says thank you. Thank you guys for everyone that showed up live too. We so appreciate you guys liking and commenting, and all the heart bombs we got. We got so many heart bombs. I love those. So that's so awesome. Well, thank you again to everyone that's here, and Rose, and this has been amazing. Again, all of her links for all the stuff we've been talking about are in the description of the video. So reach out if you need help, and we will be back I will be back for Thirsty Thursday and Spotlight Sunday next week. And then, everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Great.
You're welcome.